Hey guys, section 11.8. This is the last section of chapter 11. It's surface areas and volumes of spheres. And in my opinion, spheres are the easiest thing because there's just one thing, and that's the radius. So two different equations, but all you need to know for both of them is just the radius. So one vocabulary word, it's called the great circle, which is just the intersection of a plane and a circle, can't spell, such that the plane contains the center of the sphere. So think of like the equator, okay? We have several lines of longitude, but the equator would be the great circle because it's the line of longitude that's like in the very middle. It would go through the center of the Earth, okay? So that's what a great circle is. All right, so the volume of a sphere, 4/3 pi r cubed. Not hard. All you need is the radius. So to find the volume of the soccer ball, it's just 4/3 times pi times 4.5 is our radius, so 4.5 cubed. And if you plug that all into your calculator, you get 381.7, and that would be in inches cubed. Okay? 381.7. All right, next example. Talk about surface area a little bit. Same thing, all you need in surface area is just your radius. Okay, so the surface area is just 4 pi r squared. Hold on. Okay, so to find the surface area of each one, let me go down a little so I have room to work. Let's divide it. All I need to do, the surface area here is just 4 pi. My radius is 8 squared. Remember, all I square is the 8. So this is just 4 times pi times 64, which is 256 pi, and that is inches squared. All right, part B, you have to work a little bit harder. We can do that. Here we know the circumference is 12 pi. Okay, well notice when I'm trying to find the surface area, all I need is the radius. Well, the circumference doesn't give me the radius. Circumference and radius are two different things. But I can find the radius from my circumference. So remember, my circumference is the same thing as 2 pi r. Back in section, I don't know, 11.1, 11.2, one of those. So it tells me my circumference is 12 pi. So I'm going to plug 12 pi in for C. That's going to equal 2 pi r. Well, this is actually pretty simple. To get r by itself, I want to divide by 2 pi, divide by 2 pi. Remember, if you're putting this in your calculator, make sure you put this in parentheses, or you could just do those go away. 12 over 2 is 6, so you get 6 equals r. Okay. Now that you have your radius, you can plug it into your surface area formula, which is 4 pi 6 squared. So 4 pi times 6 squared is 36. 36 times 4 is 144 pi, and that would be in feet squared. And there's your answer. All right, the dreaded word problem. Surface area of a sphere is 576. Okay, so 576 is the surface area. Find the volume of the sphere. Well, to find the volume, we need the radius. We don't know the radius. Well, we can get the radius because we know the surface area. All right, so a couple different things. We know the surface area is 4 pi r squared. And it gives us that 576 is our surface area. So I'm going to plug 576 in for S. That gives me 4 pi r squared. So from here, I want to divide by 4 pi. Remember when I do this, we put this in parentheses in my calculator. And when I do, I get 45.8 is roughly r squared. Okay, now to go from r squared to r, let's square root that thing. And this is rounded, guys, so about 6.77 is about r. Now that I know my r, I can plug it into my volume formula, which is 4/3 pi r cubed. So my r is 6.77, and I get roughly 1299.9, about 1,300, and that's centimeters. All right, one more. Volume of a composite solid. Okay, this looks like a drumstick. The drumstick that you eat, not the drumstick that you bang on a drum. So this consists of a cone, and then there's like a half a sphere on top, which is also called a hemisphere. So in geography, like the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, it's really half of a sphere. That's where that comes from. All right, so they're putting these together. So to find the volume of the whole thing, it'd be the volume of the hemisphere plus the volume of the cone on bottom. Okay, so I'm going to do this as two separate problems almost, and then at the end get my answers for each of them put together. So let's do the volume of a cone first. All right, so the volume of a cone is just 1/3 pi r squared times h, which is 1/3 times pi. Notice my radius is 1. And the height of my cone is right here, which is 5. So I get, if I do this all, I get 5/3 pi. Okay, so the volume of my cone, 5/3 pi. All right, now I want to find the volume of my hemisphere. PHERE, which is half of a sphere. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get the volume of my entire thing and then divide it by 2 or just multiply it by half. Same thing. So the volume is going to equal 1/2. Now the volume of a sphere is going to be 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so this is going to equal 2/3. 1/2 times 4/3 is 2/3 times pi, and then I'm going to plug 1 in for my radius. 1 cubed is just 1. So this is just going to be 2/3 pi. So 2/3 pi. So when I add them both together, guys, 2/3 plus 5/3, or 2/3 pi plus 5/3 pi is just 7/3 pi, and that would be in meters. All right, that wraps up chapter 11. Homework is on big ideas. Please let me know if you have any questions at all.